Hi, this is Jay Bucciarelli, and this is my board game Witches Coven, a 4 to 8 player social deduction game. Plays in about 30 to 40 minutes, and the theming is your coven of white witches, and demons have entered your village, and you'll want to pass ritual cards, these greenback cards, from this ritual deck. You can think of it as a ritual book, but you'll need to use ingredients, candle, sage, and salt, from the supply deck. Now, to start, each player starts with 4 supply cards, these pinkback, be made up of candle, sage, and salt. There'll also be these demon cards mixed in. And if you draw one of these, you're on the demon team, bad team. If you never draw these, you're on the good team. The good team wants to pass ritual cards, and the bad team wants to fail ritual cards. Now, how to pass ritual cards. Just this one as an example. Say you have 5 players. You look at the 5 and up. Each player from their hand must play a card face down into a pile that matches this card. Not the order, but the amount. So look at the 5 and up for 5 players. If it was 6 players, you look at the 6 and up. But for 5 players, you need 1 sage, 2 candles, 2 salt. And to pass this, you as a group would deliberate on, you might say, I don't have sage, I'll play candle. And another player might say, I'll play candle with you. And then one player might say, I only have sage. So they would play sage, and then the 2 other players left would play salt. And if everyone told the truth, the face down pile should match this card, and if it matches, it would pass. Now, there is a high priest elected each round by majority vote. Changes each round too. They're the only player that looks at the face down pile of cards. Now, they shuffle it first, and then they look at it, and if it matches this ritual card exactly, there's 1 sage, 2 candle, 2 salt. They can show the ritual, they can show the supply cards to all the players to prove it, and then this would go in the pass pile. 5 passes, good wins. 5 fails, bad wins. But say they look at the ritual cards and it doesn't pass. Say there's a sage missing. Say there's 3 salt and only 1 candle. Anything that's not this card, it would fail. You would put this card in the fail pile, and the high priest would not show the supply cards. Now, say the high priest is on the bad team. They could say the ritual card fails even if it passes, even if all of the right ingredients are in there. And they can say whatever they want of what they saw. So when a ritual card fails, you don't know if someone played wrong or the high priest is lying. So that would fail. But you can't be too obvious about being on the bad team, because each round, the group by majority vote can vote someone out. And you play round after round, compiling successes and fails, and based on who has been in the failing groups the most, say the first round, one of the salts played wrong, and then the second round, one of those players played a candle wrong in the next round, so they'd be suspicious. They'd be under suspicion for failing both rounds. But it could be very likely that they've been framed by the other bad players. So you play round after round, voting people off, and whoever gets to 5 first wins. And to add a little bit extra to the game, these are familiar cards. They're basically character powers that some you can use more than once during the game, some you can only use once, and they sort of add a little bit more flavor to the game. And that's Witches Coven.